We are gathered here today on Capitol Hill to thank the Congress of the United States for funding $600 million in the National Defense Authorization Act. Thank you so much for your participation here this afternoon. I would just like to acknowledge the co-chairs of this very important delegation, Bukhari Chief Rabbi Yehoshua, Leon Goldenberg, Joseph B. Stam, Sal Goldner. Please give them a warm round of applause. The National Defense Authorization Act includes $600 million for Israel's defense missile system, including Iron Dome, David Sling, and the Arrow program. I'd like to thank Sergio of Senator Rand Paul's office for hosting us this afternoon. Senator Paul is a stalwart friend of the pro-Israel community, and we are very grateful to you, Sergio, and to Senator Paul for his friendship and to our community. Thank you very much.
In Atlanta.
Hi, good to see you.
Hi, Joey Howell, Support Community Center.
And where?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, good.
Hi, my name is Yossi Siegel. Leon made me come here.
Well, you're in good company out there. So. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Okay, so we're here to thank the Center for support, $600 million. I think something that's left out that really is important is the two-way street. Besides the technology which is developed in Israel is used in the military, Israel, which is a small country.
I actually meet companies that tell me that our rules are so bad now that they're doing startups in Israel. Israel's done pretty well with our tech startups. So we need to do a better job following our regulations as well.
As active citizens, it's very important. I'm a proud 1,000% supporter of Israel, as you are, and that will continue, but we always need to keep enlarging that group. So thanks for your advocacy.
The U.S. is giving $3 billion, not taken away, to Israel every year, and plus the money for Iron Dome. But besides that, the trade, the bilateral trade, we are now the 23rd. Israel is now the 23rd largest trader with the United States. There is almost $40 billion in trade going back and forth.
The statement that you made that the need to bond with Israel is more important than ever is something that's attributed to you is exactly we appreciate, and so that's really the main reason that we're here to thank you, and we hope that we can continue to have bipartisan support. The work that you have been doing to support the state of Israel, there's no better proof than we'd like to present it.
No, thank you so much.
As chairman of the Senate Appropriations Foreign Operations Subcommittee, the senator is in a key position to represent the defense interests of the United States and understands the need to support our allies, especially the state of Israel.
I did this on purpose because I'm driving them. I want Iran to look at a strong Israel, not a weak Israel. Because the one thing the Iranians cannot discount is that the Israelis would use military force to stop the program. The Jewish dress code throughout the centuries is amazing to me. How people took different paths.
We adopted the local basically with few changes to make it.
And we consider it one of our big successes in that bill, and we're glad to get it done. So
That's why we're here.
Really appreciate it. Literally, we saw in the last word, saves lives.
absolutely. And you know, this is, if you're going to test the system, our friends in Israel have tested it for us with great success. That I think only gets better.
Yes.
I think it only gets
And
better.
it's a two-way street. The United States benefits as well from the technology and the money that's spent here for procurement.
Right. Good. Well, thank you.
And bless you, may the partners, and keep leading our world, make our world a better place. You're in a very important position. Help us in the right things.
Great to see you. Good to see you as well, James Lang.
And I want to thank the Senator. First of all, start with thanking the Senator for the support on the $600+ million appropriations on Iron Dome, David Slingshot, and etc.
I've had several folks that have said to me, in fact, that they want to divest from Israel. And I've said, great, you're not going to use your telephone anymore.
Oh,
yeah, listen, that's that.
Not being able to use your cell phone.
Yeah, so
all
you
the
can't
time.
use your cell phone anymore, and you probably can't use your laptop of any type anymore because the software that's built into it, in all likelihood, is Israeli software in some level. He said, so if you're willing to give up your cell phone and you're willing to give up your laptop, then go ahead and take a high ground stand. But Israeli software is all over the world and is in every product that we use.
And many medical.
Oh yeah, the cancer research, I mean, you can go on and on and on. What Israel's doing right now on Alzheimer's research and cancer research especially are very significant long-term to dealing with the cure.
You visited an Iron Dome site
I did.
in Israel.
I did.
So if you could be kind enough and share with us your perspective on visiting the site and you saw firsthand the technology.
So I was in Ashdod, Ascalon, went by to be able to visit with the folks from Noble Energy about the natural gas and some of the exploration was there, sitting on the site, whether actually trying to bring it all in from offshore. We had an extensive discussion, went on south, stopped that evening at an Iron Dome. I got a chance to meet with some of the good IDF folks that are there to be able to talk about what they're doing, how they're managing. In fact, we had a long conversation about some of the technology that they're using for perimeter defense around it. I think there's some technology that we have in the United States that we discussed there with Raytheon and other folks when I was there to say there are some bits of technology I think would help build a greater security perimeter. And then we connected Raytheon with some of the American folks as well to say there may be a way that we can help you because right now they're very dependent on 21-year-old eyes looking out into the darkness, being able to see and provide a good perimeter fence.
They're working on something also for the tunnel protection.
Yes, yep. So there are some areas that we can share information back and forth to be mutual and accessible to each other. By the way, while I was there, we were standing right next to it talking through the technology and the red light suddenly went on over top of it. And I looked at the gentleman next to me and I said, "Is that for show?" And he said, "It's never for show. Well, we should probably back up." And so we backed up and gave it about 50 yards or so and continued our conversation. It never did. It didn't that night, thankfully, for everyone.
That means that a missile was launched. It just didn't go into a populated area. They're not shooting
trajectory
at
is probably
Well, not necessarily. It could be that they were just picking up activity on the other side and that they were just making it ready and to let everyone know, hey, this could go off at any point. And we kind of talked through the dynamics of that. But yeah.
The National Defense Authorization Act passed your committee. We're very hopeful that it will pass it will get signed eventually. And we're very grateful to you and we acknowledge your leadership and your support. Israel's not a charity case, but it does remind you that at the end of the day, we all need each other. And as chairman of the Appropriations Committee, we felt that this is on your desk and understand that there are friends praying for you.
And there are over 250,000 Americans that are working today at jobs because of Israel. Of course, the money from the MOU, the bulk of it comes right back to the United States and has to be purchased in the United States. The $600 million comes back to the United States from Iron Dome. A lot of the weaponry is made in the United States. So I think there needs to be a better understanding that it is a bipartisan, of course, a bipartisan issue, but it is something that really helps both sides.
I don't think anybody disputes that. I don't know if anybody.
I am astonished that every time I speak to the senator's staff, there's always, the senator would love to meet you, and the senator is very, very much on top of all her constituent needs, but she's also a mother. And in fact, she picks up your son, two boys every day herself.
Regardless of where the president comes out on funding, the Senate would provide whatever Israel needs. And that's just a true fact, and we will always be there for Israel. We are urging, in another letter, Senator Kuhn's letter with Lindsey Graham, to specifically support a robust memorandum of understanding. We want a very strong agreement with Israel going forward so that we know we can be there when Israel needs us. We are fundamentally tied in terms of our national security, so their well-being is our well-being.
We have to look for freedom, we have to look for safety of people, and to fight any kind of anti-racist thing, and continue the wonderful spirit of this nation. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be in the Capitol Hill, and I convey to my constituents the good spirit of it.
I'm very grateful. Thank you.
You know, my senator from New York, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and it's an honor for me to, on behalf of the delegation, to present to you a charity prize.
That's so beautiful.
We all have a responsibility, when we know better, to confront those in authority and ask them, why aren't you doing your job to push for a foundation towards peace? Why aren't you speaking out? And especially on a campus, we have a special responsibility with those that we know and that we love to back them up, to give them the courage, because they will develop more character, more self-confidence, more leadership skills, and develop more of a sense of their moral responsibility by standing up on issues like BDS. That's something we can do for the next generation, and we're going to need them for them to develop.